Hey there folks, it is Rob and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a brand new What I Watched video, basically where I show you guys the movies that I watched the past, month, week, whatever it is. If I feel like I have a handful of movies to show, then I'll make a video. Now, there are all different kinds of genres here. I have action, thriller, horror, and even comedy. So, I hope you enjoy this. I plan on doing a lot of these, and just something extra for my channel. Go check out Dale Stark. He also does these. All right, so first up, I decided to go with Ransom. This movie still holds up today. I love it. Mel Gibson, directed by Ron Howard. This is the 15th anniversary edition Blu-ray. And, this movie kind of hits home if you have kids. I know I say that a lot in my videos, but it's true. His kid gets taken in broad daylight. I mean, they were at like a park where there's tons of people and he still gets kidnapped. Then he has to pay a ransom. You got Gary Sinise, Rene Russo. It's very... I don't know. It's just very realistic to me, this movie. So if you guys have not seen this movie or haven't seen it in a while, definitely give it a rewatch or check it out because it's awesome. So, all right, next up, I went with an anthology film, and that is VHS. I remember when this came out, the very first day it came out, I went to Family Video. They only had one copy, and it was already rented out. And I went right when they opened. They opened at 10 o'clock. And someone had already rented it. So I don't even know how that was possible unless somebody in the store reserved it for somebody, because I was one of the first people there, and yeah. But I remember when I finally got to see it, I was like, dude, this movie was really interesting. You got a wraparound story, and there's just a ton of, short stories that fill that gap. Not all the stories are good, but I find them to be different enough to be interesting. But yeah, this is one of those films that I will never forget, especially that first short story. They actually made a follow-up movie, I believe it's called Siren, with the same actress who plays the vampire chick. So, really good. So, with the follow-up, I decided to watch VHS 2 or SVHS, which in a lot of people will say that this is their favorite out of the entire series. And I do agree. I like all the stories, even the wraparound. And the wraparound story actually connects to the first movie. So that's pretty cool. But I love the cult segment. The cult segment is just so disturbing. But yeah, they just do it really, really well. But yeah, this is a great one. You can tell everyone was having fun with it. And I have it here on Blu-ray, and it contains both the unrated theatrical and R-rated or rated versions. Next up, I went with the Carrie remake with Chloe Grace Moretz and Julianne Moore. Here's the thing about this film. I think Julianne Moore carried this movie, and she was crazy enough to make her interesting, and I thought her acting was solid. Chloe Grace Moretz, her acting was great, but I didn't feel like she was the ugly girl or the girl that gets ignored. I just didn't buy it. Chloe Grace Moretz is she's a pretty girl, and If you compare her to like Sissy Spacek is a plain Jane. I'm not saying she's not pretty. I'm just saying I bought her being the one that gets made fun of or ignored or calling her weird and stuff. I buy that. I just didn't buy it with Chloe Grace Moretz. Now, I'm not saying she did a bad job or anything like that. It wasn't that. I just think it was maybe a poor casting choice. But yeah, there's that one part in this movie that it really, I'm like, wait, what? Like, how is that possible? At the end, when she touches the girl's stomach, but she's like, oh, you're pregnant, but she told her the sex of the baby, and it's not even a fetus yet. Like, it's not even, like, how the hell could you even know the sex? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just so weird. That's not her power. Her power is to, like, levitate and stuff. Like, how the hell, by touching her stomach, does she know the sex of the baby? That I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? I thought this remake was okay. It's kind of watered down in a lot of instances. The Rage Carry 2 is way more gorier. So next up is a fantastic sci-fi thriller, and that is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, this movie, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, does it connect to the first Cloverfield? Because I saw the first Cloverfield in the theaters and I loved it. But it really doesn't have any connection, really. I love John Goodman's performance here because, he looks like he's crazy, but then is he just a guy that likes to prepare for the worst? That's what this movie does. It's kind of mind-bending. It's psychological, like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she gets in an accident. John Goodman's character brings her down to his underground bunker and says there's been an attack up above and you cannot go outside because there's like gas that's been released and you can't breathe the air. So people are dying and there's been an invasion of like the aliens. So you start to notice, like, is he crazy? Does he know what he's talking about, or is he crazy? Like, is he just keeping her down there because? That's what this movie does. Again, it goes back and forth, and that's what I love about it. The ending is really cool, and it kind of, I was thinking it was going to go one way, but then it goes another. So, fantastic movie. Next up is another good thriller, and it is Domestic Disturbance. Saw this in the movie theater when it came out. John Travolta, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn plays this, he's kind of like this rich guy who marries John Travolta's ex. And Vince Vaughn ends up murdering this guy he had a connection with years ago. And the boy sees this. And so then the boy starts like saying, oh, like, I don't want to live with him because of what he did. And Vince Vaughn plays like, I don't know, he plays a good, I want to say bad guy. I like seeing him as a bad guy. But John Travolta's great in this too. This is one that doesn't really get talked about a lot. Like it says there, an unforgettable cat and mouse thriller. That's kind of what it is. But yeah, I remember when this came out, not a lot of people were talking about it, which is a shame because I love it. So, all right. Next up, here I have the 4K of Blade. Now, this is the 4K Blu-ray and digital. Wesley Snipes' Blade, Stephen Dorff. What more can I say about this movie? I saw this in the theater and I was blown away by the martial arts of it. I wasn't expecting it to be dark. Blade basically hunts vampires. And that's basically the movie. You get to see him kick ass. This is my favorite of the Blade series. I know a lot of people say Blade 2 is their favorite. I think Blade 2 is fine. But this one, I love the characters. Uh, but yeah, this is great. And it looks awesome on 4K. I'm here to tell you, if you guys have a chance, get the 4K version because, wow, it is just so awesome. You can almost see like the little tiny hairs on Wesley Snipes' upper arm. Like you can almost see that, like it's clear. Next up, I wanted to revisit Jurassic World. Now, I like this movie. The thing I like about it the most is the fact that we get to see the park opened, which is something I think a lot of people wanted to see. With the original Jurassic Park films, it's like we never got to see the park fully functional. In this movie, we get to see that. We get to see there's like customers and food vendors and like rides that you can go on, and you can see the dinosaurs and exhibits and all kinds of things. It's like a dinosaur version of SeaWorld, and like with that dinosaur there that comes out of the water instead of Shamu, you got that. But then there's this whole side story about using the raptors as military soldiers, and I'm just like, like I didn't really care for that plot of it. But there's like this new dinosaur they created called the Indominus Rex, and it terrorizes people once again. Of course, you wouldn't have a movie without a dinosaur just going crazy killing people. So that's fine. And I just think the best part is seeing the park opened. And these two kids who are the main character kids, they get to explore the park a little bit. And yeah, so it's good. Now, this is definitely one of my favorite martial arts movies of all time, and that is Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. No matter how many times I watch this, I freaking love it. This is not my favorite Bruce Lee film, though. My favorite Bruce Lee film is his very first starring film called The Big Boss. But here in the States, it's called Fists of Fury. But The Big Boss was his break. That was his, when he sat down with his wife to see the premiere, he thought no one was going to like it. And so he actually stood up and they were going to leave. But then when the movie ended, everyone gave him a standing ovation. And it was great. And The Big Boss is definitely a movie you should watch. It's one that I never forget because it's kind of brutal. Not saying this movie's not. Mortal Kombat got its inspiration here because it's just like Mortal Kombat. They go to an island. There's a few characters they focus on, like John Saxon and stuff. They compete in this like tournament thing. They even have the feast before the tournament. Like they sit in this room and they feast. So yeah, it's a lot like Mortal Kombat, but this is great. Great movie. Went with a little action here, and I went with Dante's Peak. This is a collector's edition DVD, Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton. I love survival action films. Basically, a volcano erupts in this town, and Pierce Brosnan plays a volcanologist. I think that's what he is. But he goes there to study this volcano, and it ends up erupting, and they have to find a way to get out of the town. And it's nonstop. It doesn't stop. Once the action starts, it's ongoing, and I'm not even exaggerating. It is. There's a couple of parts here though that really get to me, like the grandma who gets out of the boat. She jumps into the acid water and her legs get all eaten up. But yeah, that's a kind of a hard scene to watch. But it's a great film, though. I remember it was so hard to find a DVD release of this back, when it first came out. It was so hard to find it by itself. So So I ended this with a comedy, and I love it, and it is Paul Blart Mall Cop. This movie, I just laugh all the time. I'm not a huge Kevin James fan. I don't watch like King of Queens and all that, but I think he was made for this role, and he is just hilarious. Basically, he plays a mall cop where he protects the mall, and these burglars try to take over the mall, and he's the only one inside, and there's hostages, and he has to try to rescue the hostages. And there's police outside, and he's basically the guy inside that's trying to save everybody. But the way he does things is just so funny. But again, I think he was meant for this role. And I don't think Kevin James is a bad actor. It just seems like like whatever role he plays, and I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about but besides like Becky, okay, he played a different role in Becky, which we've never seen him do. But when he's in like Grown Ups or like Here Comes the Boom or whatever movie it is, it seems like he plays the same person every time. Like he falls and he's being made fun of because he's fat or big or whatever. It's like the same thing. Here, I feel like this character is a character. So it's a great movie. If you guys have not seen this, definitely check it out. It's definitely good for a laugh. So, all right. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this What I Watched video. Stay tuned for more. I'm probably just going to call this like a random movie watch, but sometimes I might have themes and only watch certain things that have to do with different themes, like ghost movies or alien movies or space movies. I might do that once in a while. So hope you enjoyed this again. Stay tuned. Rob signing off. See you next time.